In the 1950s, people walked into this forest carrying handwritten notes and quiet despair. Today, visitors arrive with smartphones, GPS, and cameras, yet many still feel an overwhelming sense of disorientation, silence, and something they cannot quite explain. The place hasn't changed, only the world around it has. This is the story of Aokigahara, Japan's most mysterious and misunderstood forest. At the base of Mount Fuji lies a dense woodland known as Aokigahara, often called the Sea of Trees. Spanning over 3,500 hectares, the forest sits on hardened lava formed by an eruption of Mount Fuji in the 9th century. The ground beneath is uneven, porous, and rich with volcanic rock, creating a terrain that absorbs sound and distorts direction. From the outside, Aokigahara looks like a normal forest, but step inside and everything changes. The trees grow tightly packed, their roots twisted and tangled across the rocky ground. Sunlight struggles to pass through the dense canopy. The air feels still, unnaturally still. Even the wind seems to fade away as you move deeper. For centuries, local folklore has surrounded this place. In Japanese legend, forests like Aokigahara were sometimes associated with yurei, restless spirits of the dead. Some believe the area was connected to ancient practices of ubasute, where elderly or ill family members were allegedly abandoned during times of famine. Whether historically accurate or not, these stories shaped how people viewed the forest, not just as land, but as something haunted by memory. However, Aokigahara's modern reputation began to take shape in the mid-20th century. In 1960, a novel titled Kuroi Jukai, Black Sea of Trees, depicted characters ending their lives in this forest. The book gained attention, and over time, Aokigahara became associated with tragedy. Media coverage and word of mouth slowly turned the forest into a symbolic location, not because of myth, but because of human behavior. By the 1980s and 1990s, the number of incidents in the forest had drawn national attention. Authorities began documenting cases, and for a time, statistics were publicly released. Some years saw dozens of recoveries, which only reinforced the forest's reputation. But numbers alone do not tell the full story. What makes Aokigahara particularly unsettling is not just what has happened there, but how the environment itself feels. Compasses often behave strangely due to the high iron content in the volcanic soil. GPS signals can become unreliable beneath the thick canopy. Trails are easy to lose. Sound does not travel the way it normally does. Many visitors describe a sense of disorientation, not just physically, but mentally. That is why, in recent years, the Japanese government and local organizations have taken steps to change the narrative. At the entrance of the forest, signs are placed with messages of care and support. They encourage visitors to reconsider harmful decisions and to seek help. Patrol teams regularly walk through certain areas, not to punish, but to offer assistance to anyone in distress. The goal is not to hide the past, but to protect the present. Today, Aokigahara is also recognized for something else entirely: its natural beauty. The forest contains ice caves, unique lava formations, and rare ecosystems. Tourists, hikers, and researchers visit to explore its geology and environment. Guided trails are clearly marked, and safe areas are maintained for visitors. Yet the deeper, unmarked parts of the forest remain largely untouched. Standing there, away from the main paths, the silence becomes noticeable, not peaceful, but heavy. The kind of silence that makes you aware of every step, every breath. It is not a place of supernatural forces. It is a place where human emotion has left a lasting imprint. For audiences in the United States and around the world, Aokigahara represents something complex. It is not simply a haunted forest, nor is it just a tragic location. It is a reminder of how places can absorb stories, how environments can influence perception, and how important it is to approach such locations with understanding rather than sensationalism. Because behind every statistic is a human story. And today, the focus is shifting. Efforts continue to raise awareness about mental health, to provide support, and to change how the forest is perceived globally. The conversation is no longer about mystery alone, but about responsibility, compassion, and awareness. Aokigahara still stands at the base of Mount Fuji, just as it has for centuries. The trees are still dense, the ground is still volcanic, the silence is still there. But what we choose to see in that silence, fear, mystery, or a call for understanding, that has changed. And perhaps that is the most important part of its story.